The views and opinions expressed by the guest author or speaker during this live session are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Reader's Magnet. The content shared is for informational purposes only and does not constitute endorsement or promotion of any particular belief, ideology, or product.
Hey, and hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers, and welcome to another exciting episode of Reader's Magnet featured author interview, where we dive deep into the world of creativity and inspiration. And our guest for today is the author of the book Johnny and JAZZBO A True Story. So please help me welcome Ms. Kathryn Hardy. So, Kathryn, how are we doing today?
We're doing great. And hi, everyone. Thank you for having me in your world today to learn a little bit more about my 5-star review book, Johnny and JAZZBO.
Okay, and you know what, to all of our viewers and book lovers, if you want to follow along, we'll be adding the links down in the comment section below for you guys to click on it. Check it out, though. It is a very well-reviewed book. A lot of people love it, and you too, I can guarantee that you'll also love this book. And again, without further ado, if you want to know more about the story and you want to follow along, stay tuned. Don't click away because we'll be talking more about this book. So, Kathryn, I just wanted to ask you, because again, your book right now, this is just the current status on Amazon, though. It's a 5-star rated review book, has a lot of reviews written on it as well, including ratings, which is really, really doing good and wonderful. So I just want to ask you, what was the motivation behind you writing the book, Johnny and JAZZBO: True Story, then?
Well, my husband and I met the two characters, Dr. Johnny Savage and Otis Eichner, believe it or not, 25 years ago when we moved to the Chattahoochee River, which is in the woods of Northwest Florida. And we found them sitting on a riverbank around a fire pit, telling these incredible, compelling, and powerful true stories about their adventures in their life in Georgia during the 60s and 70s. Now, Dr. Johnny Savage is a white, successful Navy officer, dentist, and politician in his day. And Otis was a Black houseboy. And these two became inseparable friends. And it's their adventures. And the thing about this that I was so enthralled about till I started recording their story is that it runs the gamut. It's full of adventure, danger, murder, drama, a lot of comedy, and of course romance is in there too. So it does literally run the gamut. And they really have a powerful lesson when it comes to friendships and diversity and how they came together, but at an expense that almost cost them their lives. So it's just an amazing story.
And you know what, Kathryn, this really sounds like it's a really compelling story about this book that we have right here. It seems to weave together like history, personal growth, social justice through the friendship of Johnny Savage and Otis. So if I just wanted to ask you one more thing when it comes with this book. So if you can tell us, what is this book really, or the story, all about then?
Okay, well, it's about this unbreakable friendship between Dr. Savage and Otis Eichner, and how Otis started out as a houseboy for Johnny. And Johnny realized that Otis had a whole lot more inspiration to be successful and to do more in his life. And so here's the thing, Johnny secretly forges a high school diploma so that Otis Eichner can become America's first Black male dental hygienist. And so Johnny, he jeopardized his entire career politically and professionally and put everything on the line so that Otis could become this successful colleague instead of employee. And in doing this, it put Otis into a different category, and Johnny and Otis became closest of friends, and even most of Johnny's friends accepted Otis. But the problem was not everyone accepted Otis in Johnny's life, including Johnny's new bride, which really started all the problems. And as Otis became more and more successful with Johnny, they started getting a lot of threats for their lives with the Ku Klux Klan. They had problems with that. A lot of unsavory characters were threatening their lives. Johnny's whole career was blackballed by political and professional colleagues. And it just started to get out of hand. And it's how they handled it. That's the beauty of Johnny and Otis's story. It's how they didn't handle it with anger and fear, and they fought back strategically in so many different ways that I don't know. You have to read the book to see the things they did. But for instance, one of Johnny's closest friends, his lake house was burned to the ground because Otis was invited to water ski on an all white lake. And it was these kind of things that, were happening. And of course, this was in the middle of the civil rights movement. And it was hot in Atlanta at that time, obviously. So they barreled through it. And there's another one where the Grand Dragon of the Ku Klux Klan shows up at Johnny's dental office to have Otis, a black dental hygienist, clean his teeth. That was interesting. And then there was another point in time where fingers pointed to Otis for a local murder that took place. And that left Johnny and Otis scathed, but not defeated. So there were many, many, many incidences that happened that just didn't happen at that time in Atlanta, but they survived it.
Well, it really paints a picture of that, because again, coming from the frozen isolation of Antarctica up until the heated struggles in Atlanta and everything that they have gone through, and there are a lot of adventurers even fight again, because talking about these times and the adventures again, everyone knows about the history during this time, though not everyone though, but we have a brief idea on how it really went down in history, especially for people of color being treated during that time, and a lot of things that might be part of being partaken within this era. But if I'll be asking you, Kathryn, what makes Johnny and JAZZBO really stand out from other true stories taking place during this era then?
So many people who have read Johnny and JAZZBO have said that this book is like the books, The Butler, The Help, The Green Book, and The Long Walk Home on steroids. It's literally the key thing here was that made Johnny and Otis's story so overwhelmingly different is how they did work even the worst situations to their benefit. They it was with wit, fortitude, cunning, humor, and compassion that Johnny and Otis fought for the rights to right the wrongs in their lives, no matter what the cost was. They didn't let anyone tell them that they could not succeed or to be friends. And then this also extended into a lot of the things that Johnny did in the state of Georgia to support the civil rights movement, to support the Black community. And of course, Otis was right there with him by his side. So basically, they never gave up. And these two young mavericks, as I called them, managed to find success, love, marriage, heartache, obviously death and murder, and it followed them. And they brilliantly at times and hilariously at times took it to a destiny that was unpredictable and in a legendary way. So it was just that energy and that love that they literally had for each other as human beings, and I loved it. Otis used to say all of the time, and I loved hearing him say it. He would say, "Oh, we are people of no color." And I just thought that was so profound. He never let anyone say otherwise. And he stood up for himself and for everybody else. It's just an amazing story.
I love that. I love that. And also, Kathryn, just want to say that between again Johnny and Otis, though, with their contrasting backgrounds, different perception when it comes to success, different adversities they're challenging, but they face through these things together, and they have this growth within them, also facing these challenges in life. And there's also one thing that really got me thinking as well, because I do understand that we're talking about Dr. Johnny Savage, and we're having Otis are the characters.
Mhm.
Yet the title is Johnny and Jazzbo. So is there a mystery behind this title, Johnny and Jazzbo, or
Well,
am I onto something or whatnot?
yeah, you kind of are onto something there. The thing is that Johnny and Jazzbo and the bow tie on the cover of the book,
Yeah.
they tie this entire story together. And I always tell everyone
Oh.
when I do book club meetings or interviews, I say, hey, it's a very important part of the book. Otis was not Jazzbo, but you got to read the book to find out
Who is
what
Jazzbo?
the power behind Jazzbo is, because it is a significant part of the book. So I'm not giving that away.
Hey, you should not give it a. Again, if ever, to all of our viewers, if you want to know what that, and again, if your curiosity is really sparked, same thing as what was rolling in my head, though, you gotta read the book, try to figure out on what does the title really mean, and what mystery it hides as
Yes,
well. And
that's right.
also, Catherine, just on the top of my head though, because again, we've been talking about the adventures that these two characters are going through within your book. So again, I do understand that there's humor, there's resilience within this book, Johnny and Jazzbo, that really help again Johnny and Otis navigate again the dangers and injustice that they really
Yes.
encounter. So this is from the top of my head. So what does that really say about the human spirit in the face of adversity, then? According to you, the author and writer of this book?
Well, it tells me that when someone genuinely cares and loves other people, and they're not in a battle to win physically, but they are in a battle to win emotionally and spiritually. Um, and that's where the true humanistic part of people come from. You're not going to. Johnny and Otis would have never won if they pulled out their guns and their knives and literally fist fought their way through.
Right.
Instead, they used fortitude and cunning humor, as I said
Hmm.
earlier, to be. They want what's the saying about winning the war? You can you don't want to win the battle, you want to win the war, I think is how it goes.
I think that's, yeah. It's kind of, oh wait, yeah. I think it goes
Something like
that
that.
way. Something like that. Something like that. Okay,
That's
we can't
right.
pull it. It was. I think it
But
goes that way. Reading the war out. No, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Going on with you with
anyway,
that.
it's
Okay, go.
but they just their energy and their love for other people. I know, and one thing I should point out too, they they were, Otis came from a black community, Johnny
Hmm.
came from a white community, but the one thing that was alike is that they both grew up in the backwoods of Northwest Florida, which is where we are and where they
Hmm.
came home from. But they both were poor. They grew up poor. And they had that single same goal, that they both had this desire, an insatiable desire to never be poor again. And that's a big part of this book, is that they did have that in common, and they helped each other achieve that in many ways. And that goes back to the title too. I'll just give you that bit of a hint.
Oh, okay. So we're having hints now. Again, if everyone, I think
That's right.
I might be unveiling this mystery while we're having this conversation. Then, yep. And Catherine, it's really a blast to have this conversation with you. And just one more thing though. It can, because again, a lot of people though who love to read your book, and again, if you checking for the reviews as well, a lot of people really love and endear your book, and I'm seeing praises left and right, talking about how well written what the story is. And but if I just want to ask you, like, because a writer always has their all-time favorite book. So if you don't mind me asking, what is your all-time favorite book, and why is it going to be your
Well,
favorite?
a lot
Mhm.
of people ask me that, and
Yeah.
maybe it's I grew up in the South, so, you know, they say authors normally should write about what they know. Although I've got a couple of other books coming out that you got to read too.
No.
But you you come from the South, and so a couple of my favorite books. One is To Kill a Mockingbird, you know, the old classics. Another one is A Member of the Wedding, and another one is Wally Singh's book, I Know This Much Is True. That's another. But what I normally tell people, and I say that my favorite book is the one that I'm reading right now. And to me, that's more important than anything, because I tell people read, 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 because that changes your life. That changes your attitude towards other cultures, other places, and it just makes you so much more of a compassionate person. So yeah, whatever book I'm reading at the moment is my favorite. But right now, my favorite is the next one I'm writing. So the one I'm working on right now.
Hey, okay, and if ever though that book would be available, it will be another thing that a lot of people will be having it as their go-to read book and favorite book. And you know what? To all of our viewers and book lovers, again, grab a copy right now of again, that's Johnny and Jazzbo, A True Story. That's available through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, also through the website. That's www.KathrynJHardyBooks.com. So grab a copy. And again, as what Kathryn said, whatever you're reading right now, make it your favorite book, because it really changes you. So add this book, grab this book, make it your favorite book, recommend it to a lot of people. And again, I would highly suggest for you to add it to your collection of books that you got to read. Right now, it's almost the book buying season. It's also the gift giving season. So give the gift of knowledge and stories. Grab a copy, give it to people you love. Let them have a piece of a world that you want to share with them, and let Johnny and Jazzbo be that piece of the story you want to share with each and every one. So, Kathryn, as we come to the end of today's conversation, I just want to take this moment and say that thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your insights. And I'm really excited to see where your writing journey takes you, and I'm looking forward to see your works in the future. And I'm thinking maybe next year we might be seeing something else in the future, right?
Yes,
Hopefully.
definitely.
Definitely next year we're looking.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Hey, thanks, Kathryn. So again, to all of our viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. And always remember that every ending is just a new beginning in the world of stories. May your reading adventures be endless and your imagination boundless. And as we say here at Reader's Magnet, we share your stories with the world. Thank you and have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.